So welcome to League of Ireland LOI Big Slaters podcast. Alongside us we have LOI Colin B289, LOI Wheelo, and we will be interviewing, having a chat with one of the OGs, is LOI Con. So I'll bring him in now. He's raced over 60 races now. By the end, he raced over 70. He will have 6 podiums to his name. So welcome, LOI Con.
Hello, how are things?
How are you?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic.
Oh, that's good. So we'll kick start, alright? We'll actually go back to last night. Well, 2 nights ago, as I should say. The Tier 1 race. How did you find that Tier 1 race? And obviously drama happened, but take us your point of view on that.
Yeah, it was interesting qualifying, obviously wet to dry. I obviously, as per usual, bottled it in Australian qualifying, so started P19. Yeah, there was a few safety cars, a lot of strategies mixed up. Lap 1 was a shambles, people getting damaged, people getting retired, just usual crap, and it's just I think it was about 12 laps to go or something like that, or 15 laps to go, I can't remember, but myself and Colin B here were making good moves on the softs for the last bit of the race, and it was really sweaty, really, had to be perfect driving for lap after lap after lap, and I had a few penalties, but I ended up still getting points from P18 in, some of the best drivers in the country, so I wasn't too upset about it. But I think I've moved up a few places with penalties. Hopefully, I think I have anyway. But yeah, so kept my nose clean as best as I could, and yeah, just did my normal thing and drove as fast as I could, as clean as I could, and got points at the end of the day. That's all I wished for. So yeah, it's really all right.
That's good to hear. Anyway, that's good. Good insight on last night's race. But we'll take you back, alright, to over a year, pretty much a year and a half ago. Over a year and a half ago now, nearly 2 years, we could say. What was your first league you've raced in, and why did you start league racing?
So the first league I raced in was Contest of Speed. I basically discovered F1 again in 2017. I was always into F1 from watching Top Gear over the years, and I've been to numerous rally events around the world, and in Ireland and marshalling up and down the country for rally events. So I was always into motorsport. Obviously, my stepdad rally drives as well, so I've always been around cars and stuff. So I said I would buy F1 2017, and with 2018 was over, obviously I wasn't going to buy the new one at the time, so I bought the older one a bit cheaper. So I was playing that, and 2019 came out when I was on holiday, so I went out and I said, look, I loved 2017, I'd buy it. And got into, literally started doing 5-lappers for maybe 20-30 minutes a day, chilling on F1, and yeah, basically met a few of the admins and costs in a random lobby and invited me to a party because I was driving alright, and they got me through there, and got started in Contest of Speed. I think it was season 4 or season 5, I can't remember, but it's the first either the first or second season they had of 2019. So yeah, started racing there. I was the first race Australia, crashed in the first lap, and I finished last from my first 4 or 5 races, so wasn't the best, but yeah, first league I started in, and I obviously from watching the YouTube highlights from all over the last year or two of F1, obviously not watching it, I started kind of watching it as best as I could, and pretty much in the end of 2018, 2019, I started watching the races, and really getting back into it again. So it was really nice to get back into it, because a motorsport I suppose forgot about. But it was kind of cool to race in the game as well, than obviously watching it on the phone or whatever.
That's true, and yeah, that was take it back. That was the first season in F1 2019. The game was only out a couple of weeks when you joined. Yeah, so what was it like? Because you were racing with multi different countries, like so multicultural people as well, and drivers. How did you find that with the mix as well?
Yeah, like most of the lads in COS are pretty much from the UK or kind of Netherlands, Denmark, places like that. A lot of Dutch people, so we all kind of speak English. But this, like back then, I used to be in the parties with a few of the admins in COS, and they wouldn't really understand my slang. I wouldn't understand their slang, but like it was, I suppose there was a different breed of drivers because it wasn't one country and there was a load of different people, so you didn't know really what to expect. And you know, some people took things differently than I did, or you know. But yeah, it was interesting. You know, a lot of racing with loads of people from around the world was good, but it was cool as well at the same time. Obviously, playing PlayStation my whole life, like you know people from all over the world, and then getting into another community I hadn't really dived into before. So it was kind of nice to see that there was a community for league racing and F1, because I would just play F1 myself in the evening times, and then might be straight back onto, I think it was Black Ops 3 at the time, or whatever game it was, playing Call of Duty or Fortnite at the time. So that's really all I would do, like. And then, so yeah, that was really it. But it was interesting to say the least, kind of mixing with a load of different people again.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That was good insight on that, and obviously, when we'll go a bit forward in time, a couple of months, well, yeah, a couple of months down the road, League of Ireland came. We obviously knew each other before.
Yeah, we met.
Yeah, so you can tell the story if you like, the public. If they
yeah, so myself would be in 5-lappers some nights, and I'd always see Big Slater join. I go, this lad is ridiculous. He's always beating. He's always first. This lad is fucking tired and all it. And I think it was one, we were in Britain, and I hit you, you hit me, and I messaged you basically saying what the fuck or whatever, you're a gobshite or whatever, and you said you're driving a bus there or driving a taxi. And all this, I went into Monaco then, and you were budging me past in the hairpin, and I was like, what the fuck, this lad's fuck gobshite, all this. And that's when we first ever messaged each other, heard nothing then, and then I had the Austria race in COS that season, and I'd always been kind of at the back, and then there was going dry to wet conditions. I was in 5th place, and I took 2 seconds out of the leaders in like a lap and a half, and was overtaking the leaders in like wet on slick tires, and commentators are going mental, like, look on all this, and it's fucking, I think it's hilarious now, like, I think about it. But I think it was you messaged me later saying, oh, that was a good race there, showing some good improvements, and then about a week later you invited me to the party and started chatting from there. So I'm getting quite emotional talking about it, isn't it? But yeah, so that was really it. And then we kind of just played with each other on the F1, and we'd engineer each other's costs race, because obviously we were in different tiers.
But same race, same calendar was.
Yeah, so like we were practice the races or whatever, and we'd be in the parties most nights till crack of dawn. Obviously, middle of lockdown too, I think it was our start kind of coming into that, was it?
Yeah.
It was
before
around
that. It was well before that as well, actually.
Or November or something, was it, or September?
Yeah,
it was around this time 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
But kind of then going into lockdown then when it first started, then in the parties then till about 3 or 4 in the morning playing F1 all night, like. But yeah, it was and then obviously yourself was kind of like, oh, if you want to start a league, and I was like, yeah, we should. And like I think it was in the first kind of messages we had. It was in a PlayStation messages group, wasn't it? We got everyone involved before we got Discord. Remember we got Discord
Yeah,
later on. First couple of races were organised through PlayStation messages, and then got the Discord, and then people started getting in through there. But like, yeah, kind of there from the very start. Like,
That's true. That's true.
I didn't do much to help set up. Obviously, I was working myself at the time, so I wasn't really thing. But I was there from the start, kind of thing.
You took
so
part. You did good,
yeah.
and so that happened, and then obviously the league started. What was your ambition? Obviously, because you were up there a good role, and obviously we were league racing. Like I think you're the only man, well, the only fucking friend who was like that competitive for racing. So, what was your ambition? And obviously, I needed your help as well.
Yeah, like I just wanted to be as quick as I could, and at that time, in still 2019 at the time, I had all my assists on as well, braking assist as well, I believe. So, but I was actually a decent driver. I probably would have been like a tier 3 driver nowadays. So decent enough, like I knew my way around or whatever, but like just wanted to be the best I could be and drive as quick as I could. And like I think at one point I was the second quickest driver, and then I was the third, and then it was kind of third/fourth when other people started coming, and then I was, up there for top 5s, top 10s all the time, and then we started getting quicker people in then, and it was good racing and stuff like that. So like my basically goal was just to race and try, pick up everyone else's mess. Obviously, I think it was yourself and Scoob at the time were fairly competitive together, so I was kind of always either in third or fourth, sitting there waiting to get an all podium or a top 5. So kind of there was big gaps back then, like so. But yeah, that was really it. Like just to try get the best result I could and keep my nose clean. I think that's the same attitude I have now, is just stay out of trouble and use the brain,
That's true, and obviously we get into the season 1. Like I know you said it's where you were really, but did you have any expectations, or just did you want to finish anywhere, or what was the goal in your own mind?
I suppose since it was wasn't necessarily different to Contest of Speed, but just since I was actually, kind of the, I suppose you could say like admin. Well, I wasn't like admin at the time as I am now, but I was kind of there from the start, so I kind of felt like this was my league just as much as, yours or Lowe's or whatever. Like it was kind of, we all helped set it up, so I kind of wanted to, I suppose, put on a good face in a way.
Yeah.
And show that this is a good competitive league, that's good driving, good crack, and I didn't really have any goal at the time. I just wanted to come race and have the crack, because F1 was really the only game I played at the time, and there was a bit of Fortnite that was it as well. Like, but that was really it. There was no really goal till I suppose I got really, really, really into it. Then season 2, season 3, when I started when 2020 came out. Sorry, 2020, yeah, 2020 came out. So that was really it. Like.
Yeah, it's hard with the memory going back. Obviously you had majority of your podiums. Like I know you're a very talented driver. In my eyes, you're fucking improved a lot. Like since I've met you first, and trying to push you better and better. But you still have a good success. Like 6 podiums. It's 6 podiums at the end of the day in LOI Tier 1. It's not easy. It's literally not easy, and that's
gotten harder.
But that's the challenge. It is. You have loads of people, but there's people there, and many people that are very talented drivers that have less, and they just have a few that have just a shade more. But it's just that competitive, and as well, it doesn't matter if it was season 1, 2, every season's been competitive in your eyes. So
in their own way, yeah.
So take us through season 2. Can you remember at the start of season 2?
Oh, I think that was when 2020 came out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, it's such a blur now because I think I was working at the time as well, so I was only kind of playing.
Yeah, I think you were at the time. Yeah, I think that was the season.
When I was
You
working
missed.
nights, I think.
Yeah, you were.
Season 3, I think I missed 10 races or 9 races out of that, so I was working as well. But or season 4, I can't remember now. Just how long ago. It's not long ago, but it feels long ago.
It wasn't 4 anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, it was obviously fresh game, so it was a bit of a challenge getting used to the game, and still had my assists on. And I remember myself and you, Paddy, the first night we went on 2020. It was 12 o'clock at night when it came out. Myself and you were on it doing Netherlands time trial, and I was like, no, taking off the assist, taking off the traction, no, yeah, manual gears, everything. And within 3 days, I was like, no, hate this game, it's fucking shit. I remember I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks. I didn't even touch the game. I hated it. I could not get used to it at all. And then I obviously came back when we started back racing again, and I started back racing at Cost, and found out then I was actually quick again, and I was alright, you know. I think it was around Christmas time then. Christmas just gone there, that I took off the assists, or our Christmas break, kind of January time, whatever. When I took off the assists, and then in other leagues as well, I saw, like in COS, I saw as well that I was actually getting, you know, 4th and 5th and 6th rather than 10th, 9th and 8th or whatever. I had come up a different kind of a level in the tier, and had good results then. And then I've moved up to tier 2 in COS now, and obviously, and I've said this loads of times, I feel if I didn't take off my assists, I would 100% be either in tier 2 or tier 3 right now in League of Ireland if I didn't take off my assists. So it was a big step, but it was well worth it. I suppose if anyone is listening with assists on, I would 100% recommend get them off. And there's a few close friends of ours we always tell to get the assists off as well. And it's so much better driving experience. It's actually easier. So, but yeah, season 2 just obviously it was different with the new game and stuff, and I didn't really like it, and I don't think I had a great season. I can't really remember. I don't think I had a great season at all. But I think it was season 3 then I wasn't around much at all. I was working, so I couldn't really make some of the races, but like, yeah, it was before I took off the assists, kind of a blur to me. But I remember I wasn't quite as competitive as I was in season 1 for the new game. But then season 4 then was kind of the breakthrough when I kind of started getting quick again in both leagues, really.
That's true. You're being reckoned to be a force with back then, season 4, and yeah, that's when like you're coming up with quality drivers as well all the time, but but that was a difficult season as well. Season 4 was a difficult season as well, with the standard of driving as well. Take you through last season. You remember last season?
Yeah, last season was shambles from the start. I believe it was 6 races or 7 races in a row I did not score points. Just getting damage, bad qualifyings. I got taken out for 2 of them, which wasn't my fault. But the other 4 then were a bit me being a dumb stick, as Colin B would say to me.
LOI dumb stick.
LOI dumb stick. Yeah. So no, like, yeah, season 5 was tough. But then later on in the season, then I started to kind of get points again, and I really started to play the game again, like properly grinding it out. And then near the end of season 5, kind of going It sees six a bit. I kind of was like a kind of blasé about it, kind of whatever. I'll just race whatever. But I think a lot of people will understand this as well. Like with F1 now, I'll do my few practices during the week. With John O, we do a practice race most Mondays or Tuesdays, and get the setup from there, and then we'll whack on and see how I get on the race. I try to do no more than 6 or 7 short qualies, because I think you would agree with this later. If I do too much, I'll get bored of this, and I think you might have noticed as well, I don't do as much as everyone else, and I still get good points finishes, so I don't want to overdo it. But kind of this season now, the current one, I'd probably skip ahead a bit now, but kind of just do my bit of practice and rely on my pace I have. This is it's the hardest season of LOI so far, and I've had points in I think more than half the races so far, so not going too bad.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. But say anything, Colin?
No, I don't have anything really to add. Sorry, by the way, that I couldn't participate earlier. I had a few technical issues, so I apologise for that.
It's alright.
My mic decided to act up on me a bit, but no, I just want to ask you as well, Conor. Obviously, you started on 19 and moving on to 20. Did you do anything kind of differently? Like Paddy asked me this a couple of weeks ago as well when I was on, and he said, was there anything that you wanted to achieve before you started the season in F1, in the new F1 game, or even maybe from 20 to 21? Is there anything you wanted to achieve in terms of car handling or anything, or what did you want to do to get used to the game? If you kind of know what I'm asking you here, it's not really a great way of asking you, but
no, 100% what you're saying. In 2019 to 2020, handling model was different but similar in ways. Yeah. I didn't really feel much of a difference. I hated the game because it was different graphics, different cars, and I'm someone who hates change, so I was kind of a bit, don't really like it. And then I was annoyed at myself for kept spinning on the no traction. I was like, fuck this, whatever, and just didn't like it. But yeah, 2021, obviously, I have never really dived into the big technical things of F1. Setups was a big thing for me. I always stole sliders, or if I didn't like it, I would change it wings wise, and that was it. Literally, that was it. The only setup I recall making for 2020 was my Baku and Singapore setup, because they were really good tracks for me, and other people didn't really like them setups, so I did. So it was kind of just a personal preference, I think. But 2021 is a game I struggle with at the start, because obviously the understeer, and I don't mind understeer because I've played motorsport games, car games my whole life, and a lot of rally games as well. And rally games is a lot of understeer because it's very uneven track surfaces, gravel, dirt, fucking snow. So I need to turn in a bit earlier here to counteract the understeer. But oversteer I'm quite good as well. So I suppose, like, it sounds very kind of rough and tough, but I just put up with it. Like, I adapted to the new steering, and I still don't like it. Still getting used to it, but I put up with it and just said, fuck it, let's go, let's get used to this. And I think everyone has had to do that for this game. Like some tracks don't feel any different, and then the likes of Netherlands feels completely different to me. And Netherlands was a track on last game I liked, but if I had any bit of understeer, I could not drive it and struggle. Like in this game, I'm not too bad around there, but just not what I like at all. But like 2021 is just like, a lot of people don't like it because it's so different from the last few years. Like I went on, I downloaded 2019 there a couple of weeks ago. I did a few time trials. Like I improved by I improved like a second or two in some of my time trials because of obviously taking off the assists. But the handling was so strange. Like I was validating laps because I was turning in earlier. but the car didn't have any understeer. It would turn when you wanted it to turn, and like this game really benefits the wheel. I know we always have to crack with all the wheel boys, but like it truly does. And like if you say I'm wrong, like well you need to go get checked out. Like this game suits the wheels so much because they have instant feedback. They can full lock the wheel by tweaking stuff. In the settings, like with our joystick, we have the boundaries of the joystick. It only goes so far. Like a wheel, you can turn more if you need to, etc. And they just have better things for them, But at the same time, some tracks do suit us in this game as well. And it was the same in 2020 as well. Like obviously the wheel was very good in 2020. Like obviously that's why I think most esports drivers, if not all esports drivers, use a wheel. They don't use a pad. So like the wheel's always going to be faster. But in some tracks, the pad was faster because it suited the pad conditions better than a wheel. But that was only kind of once in a blue moon. I think it was the street circuit tracks last game was very good for the pad. I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really it. I just kind of for this game I just adapted, I suppose, and just put up with it. And this is the game. This is what we got. So tough shit. Let's get used to it.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely.
Kind of one of those people I don't want to complain about it. Just get over it and get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a very blunt way of thinking about it, but that's kind of my attitude towards any new game. Just get on with it. You're not used to it, so if you keep practicing and keep putting up with it, you'll get good at it eventually. So that's really with anything either.
Excellent. And I've got a question in the comments here actually, so I'll ask it for a fella called, you might know him, a fella called Ben Logue. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I don't like him though.
Yeah, he's just asked me here, where did you get the nickname Triple C from? So would you mind just talking us through that, please, if you don't mind?
I believe so. I'm in 3 leagues at the moment. I'm in another league. It's called PvE now, or whatever it's called, but it's weekend night racing as we call it, or know it. There's no rules in that to where you can cut the track in qualifying to save tires or time. There's no rules, so obviously I was like, well, fuck that shit. I'm cutting every single corner inside. It was around Russia, and I think it was. I don't know if it was yourself, Colin, but Ben Logue was in the party watching the stream, and I kept cutting corners, and the commentator said it, and he goes, "Oh, corner cutting, Colin at it again, Triple C." So that's where that came from, anyway.
Yeah,
I think he knew that himself, but he just wanted to hear it from my mouth. I think. But yeah, so.
I did, yeah. I know exactly what that was.
Yeah. I know you fucking did, didn't I? So. Yeah, that's where it's come from. It's kind of a bit of a meme now in LOI Triple C, huh?
And Connell, not ambitions, as I should say, for this season. I know we're halfway through. Well, technically, it's aren't because it's at Belgium, but coming up, well, technically Russia, you will. But tell us what's the goal now? The second half of the season.
Second half of the season is to try to get points every race, and I do not care if it's 10th or 9th or 8th or 7th or whatever. I just want to get points every race because I am still struggling with this game. Like, I don't feel like I'm as quick as I can be. And, like, this isn't any excuse whatsoever, but I play a lot of different games. Like, FIFA, Warzone, Apex Legends. I don't just play F1. So all my time doesn't go just into F1, so I'm kind of casual, you could say, in a way. And I know a lot of people are casual, but the only game they play would be only F1, like. So, I suppose if I could just do my bit of practice with the lads during the day. Obviously I'm unemployed at the moment, so I've nothing else to do with my life except play F1 or PlayStation or go to the gym, so or play golf or whatever. So literally, like, my goal is just to get points every race, and I don't care what place it is as long as I get points. And look, if I come 11th to 12th, still a good shot, but like, I feel like if I could just I suppose get the finger out, I could. I know I said at the start of the season I could see myself being a top 5 driver again, but obviously that's not going to happen with like the Mercs and RT are ridiculously quick on the wheel, and Dilzer, like I'm actually delighted for Dilzer as well because he struggled kind of last game with the wheel, but he's really proven now, and and like I would suppose love to be a top 10 driver more so than a top 5 driver, but in some tracks I will be a top 5 driver because of how much I like them. And like Russia is a nice track for me, obviously that coming up. I usually have gone well around there and I've usually liked it. So if I could, nab a 6th or a 7th on Russia, I'd be fairly happy. But I suppose whatever happens, happens. And if something happens in the race that doesn't go my way, shit happens. So I'm not going to let that kind of get to me, So my goal really is just to get points every race for the rest of the season. With my current, I suppose, work rate I have, So yeah, that's really it.
That's interesting. And any for next season, any for starting to get go, what will be? I know we're looking a bit too far ahead, but it's time flies though. But any ambition, where would you like to finish next season?
Like next season, I think will be different. Obviously, the DLC tracks will be out, and I don't know if there was talk of another handling model coming in October. I saw some article or somewhere, but I think there's a new handling model coming again. Now I could be talking absolute garbage here, but I just saw something. So it could, the game, as you know yourself, Paddy, the game gets progressively quicker throughout the year, but now it's gotten slower. So I don't know if it'll go quicker or even go slower, but I'm still struggling to get setups because I'm making them myself and I haven't an absolute notion. So I suppose obviously I don't know what's going to be with my life. Also, I don't know what's going to be happening 12 weeks down the line. I suppose I'll still be racing in Cost because they have a 24 race season, so I'll be racing away every week with them. But with my life, then I don't know what's going to happen. I could be working, I could be dead. You never know. So, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I suppose just to I think just keep on the path I am at the moment, and try, as I said when I first started league racing and in LOI as well, just drive as fast as I can, drive as best as I can, and be the best person I can be. And I suppose set an example as obviously being a head admin of the league, So kind of just put my best foot forward, That's really it. Yeah. Just to goal I think from now on is just try to get points every race. But if I start putting more effort into the game, start playing it a lot more, grind it a lot more, then I should be getting points. But now, since I obviously don't play it as much as I used to, I would just like to get points every race, That's really the goal, if you get me. That sounds a bit confusing, but yeah. So, that's really it.
That's interesting. And anyway, I asked Colin Wheelo, and what would it mean to win a championship?
Oh, I'd be ecstatic. I think it'd be class.
Imagine LOI Season 7, LOI Con, Tier 1, World Champion.
Looks nice on the CV anyway. But no, I think it'd be unbelievable. I think it'd be class. I know to people that don't understand us as league racers, it might sound a bit stupid, but to us, then that's like a football player winning the Ballon d'Or or winning a World Cup or Euros or a league title or whatever. That's what it's like for us, and I think it'd just be class with the amount of competition we have, and I'm kind of one of those people no pain no gain. I want to earn it. Do you know what I mean? I want to fight for it, not just be handed it to me. Yeah. And that's how I've been treated throughout my life. I don't get handed everything. I have to earn it in a way. So, that's probably the last, I would say, 6 or 7 years of my life has been like that. So that's kind of the mentality I have. I want to earn that championship, not to I want to fucking do it. And if I put in the effort and I get the results, it'd be great. It'd just be class to have a championship, And so even to I haven't won a race before, so I think on my bucket list is to get another podium. I'd like I'd like to get 10 podiums for my goal and maybe 1 win, but you never know when they'll be. But that's really it. But championship, definitely, if I got one, I'd be ecstatic. Like, I think it'd be unbelievable, and have a bit of bragging rights over people that don't have championships, you know. So, but like, yeah, that's really it. Like, but I think it'd be unbelievable, to be fair.
Yeah.
To be cool out.
Very good, excellent. Anyway, just a quick one for me here. You've raced obviously last couple of seasons, LOI and everything. Who would you say is like? I'd ask the same question. Who would you say is like your biggest rival? As in, who would you think? Oh, you're constantly racing the same person over and over again. Who do you think it would kind of be from your point of view?
Like last season, it was definitely Farrell, because obviously me and Farrell are good friends, and we're always playing together, and we're always fucking like, oh, fuck you, whatever. But you know, it's definitely Farrell because we were definitely equal on pace, and it's definitely, I would say, probably yourself, Colin, Farrell this season, and I would say probably Dilzer, because I've raced with them all the time, and we're all kind of equal with each other in a way. That would be kind of really be my kind of rivals, I suppose. Like,
yeah.
You know, if I finish ahead of them, great. If they finish ahead of me, great. But if I still get points, that's fine. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I'd like to just beat them, I suppose. You know, and like obviously myself and yourself, Colin, we're so back and forth. It's like a weighing scales. Do you know what I mean? We're just very equal to each
like
other.
It's like a yo-yo, isn't it?
Like, yeah, literally, like sometimes you're quicker, sometimes
like
I'm quicker.
Yeah,
Literally,
absolutely.
every week you could be quicker, then I could be quicker, and it's just, you know. And it's the same with Farrell as well, the same with Dilzer. Like, it's just some weeks it could be shit, some weeks it could be good, or better, or we could be the same, and makes for good racing, like, you know. But that's literally it, really. And it's just good crack, to be fair. It's just good fun as well at the same time. And it's all just it's friendly but unfriendly banter at the same time, like.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's all well and good, like.
That's interesting. That's a good question there on that. And so, what way do you see the league going? Like, what way do you hope it to go, Conor?
Obviously, with COVID obviously being so bad for everyone, obviously the world is going back to normality fairly quick. Like I said this a year ago, a year and a half ago when COVID started, I reckoned, like, I was like, oh, I won't have no birthday for my 21st, I'll still be closed, but like, you know what I mean, everything's pretty much open now. So I think with the league, it's going to be a challenge to run it as effectively as we did in, I suppose, in lockdown, obviously with the 5 tiers. But I would love to have a consistent 4 tiers, or even 5 if we could, in the league. Every year there's more people getting interested in F1. There's a lot more YouTubers that would not play F1. Like a lot of FIFA YouTubers now are playing F1. Like Pieface is one of them. You know, and some of the sidemen even have played F1, and it's getting more people interested. And obviously, since we're a one league, like a one country league, it's a bit difficult to find people than all other leagues. But I suppose we're all Irish, and we all look out for each other, and we're always looking for, you know, people. You know, we all kind of want to stick with each other in a way, you know. So I think the league's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. To the point where we're going to be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, like the way things are going at the moment, it's fantastic. Like, you know, so obviously a few seats to fill in, a few tiers, but that's really it. But like, I think it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger once this game and the next game goes on. So obviously the next game is new cars that we have never driven before. So in a game, obviously, for the real drivers and real F1 as well. So like, I think it's going to attract more people, and obviously hopefully a lot more Irish people as well. And obviously, since we're one of probably the biggest league in Ireland, and one of the biggest, pretty much, and one of the biggest single league sorry, single nation leagues in the world. That says something, you know what I mean? Like, so it's I think it's fantastic. Like, and it's just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger, basically.
That's true. That's true, and it's good to have the insight on that. That's good on that as well. That was and like I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Who wins tier 4 this season?
Who wins tier 4 this season?
20 quid in your hand, boom. Go on the bookies there, put a bet on.
Weirdo.
Tell you now who will win tier 4 this season. I think it's gonna be a 3-way battle between Kachiga, Toblerone, and Rhinosaurus. I think.
Do you think Budge will be there?
Budge will be up there also.
If you had of them 4 men, if you had Colin Cohen, the bookies there, I want you to come back out with the bet slip there.
It'll be them 4 lads.
Yeah, but you have to pick a winner. I want someone to win.
Pick a winner.
I think it'll be Toby.
Toblerone, 20 slots, boom. Tier 3.
Yeah. Tier 3, I think it's going to be Adam Whelan.
Boom. 20 slots on him. Can do an accumulator on this one. Tier 2. Tier 2.
Tier 2. Just looking at all the drivers here.
This is the toughest one in my view.
Yeah.
Because like genuinely, you've got 6 drivers and 20 points, so like, anything can happen. Yeah, in this one, like anything can happen in all of them, but this one is the closest one I think at 2 at the same time.
Do you know what? I fucking decide. I think it'd be Real Johnny. Boom. 20 euro in the bookies.
Bang, there's your triple. Who wins tier 1?
Dan Owen.
Boom, that's your accumulator. There you go, there's your. So, that's that.
Thanks for that, folks.
So,
interesting. So,
what's your favourite LOI race, Connell? What was your best race? Your proudest moment of racing?
I think it was my last podium I got. I think it was season 4 Belgium, season 5 Belgium. Had
season
a good
4, I think.
Season 4, yeah, where I got 3rd place.
That was actually the only race I was in when you got a podium.
Yeah. It was a wet start to a race. I had a decent qualifying. I can't remember if it was a wet qualifying, but
it was wet dry.
It was wet,
yeah. Dry at the very end.
I had a decent qualifying. And I was up with the top lads for all that race. I think I got damage or something, I can't remember, but I went down a little bit in the order. I think people undercutted me going onto the dry tyres. I remember I was in 5th place for a good portion of the thing, and I think was it Ryan Dav in front of me or Conor O'Bee? I can't remember who it was. But I got past them on either the last or second last lap. I lined them up for about 10 laps, staying behind them, and I just got them on the last lap. And I think it was Dan OM in 3rd place with 6 seconds of penalties. I had none, and boom, up to the podium, and I screamed the party down because I got the podium from a wet to a dry race. So that was probably one of my best races from memory. Because obviously Belgium is a good track for everyone. Everyone likes Belgium. So, shut up you, Colin. So, everyone is good at Belgium. Everyone likes Belgium, so it's a very equal playing field for that track. So to get 3rd in a very, very competitive season, keep it in mind, I was delighted to get that. Because I hadn't got a podium, I believe, since season 2, something like that. So yeah, I was absolutely delighted to get that from memory anyway.
That's it. That's it. Patience is key, because you will get another one and knuckle down, and it will. That happens.
Think ahead into the future. Don't think in the moment.
That's it. I always think.
Absolutely.
be ambitious as well. I always think the sky isn't the limit anyway. So
Yeah. Bide your time.
That's it. So we'll take you from the F1 side of things there. What? No, actually, we keep going. Actually, on that, we take away the LOI moments there.
Yeah.
What made you watch F1? Who's your favourite driver as well? Sorry for butting in as well.
Favourite driver at the moment? Do you know what? I love Daniel Ricciardo. I think he's a dog. Like an absolute dog. Like, when he was in Red Bull, he was class. And I know with Verstappen, it's so hard to be good around Verstappen because obviously he's so good as well. But Danny Rick's struggling all this year. And after getting his win in Italy, in Monza, obviously Eloy Guido helped him get that win, obviously being his engineer. I was so happy for him, and it kind of definitely reinstated. Like, I never really went for a driver. I always kind of go, oh, I'd love to see Verstappen win this year, but I really want Danny now. I think he's probably it's not my new favourite driver, but gone back to my favourite driver, because he was when I first started watching F1 again. Because I love his personality, and like I feel like in a way I'm also like that, very smiley, very nice, try to be nice to everyone, you know, to have a good impression all the time. And like, I love his energy and his personality, and you know, people remember him for his good driving, but they most importantly remember him for his good personality. You know what I mean? So that's how I want to be remembered as well. You know, I want to be remembered for being a nice guy, and I kind of take that from him as well. So like, I think probably Danny Rick is probably my favourite driver at the moment, and probably always kind of was as well. So LOI Ryan would be very happy to hear that.
It will be indeed, wouldn't it? Anyway, you've had to predict the LOI championship, so now it's time for you to predict the F1 championship. There's about 6 or 7 rounds to go. We don't know how many there is left, actually, because 1 or 2 races could be in doubt. Who's going to win? Constructors first. Who do you think's going to win the Constructor Championship in this season?
Mercedes will win that.
Okay.
And
drivers, go on.
With the tracks remaining, I think, like, I want to say Max, but I do think it would be Hamilton.
Do you?
I think Merc, obviously a lot of their focus is on next year's car. And I think Red Bull are very focused on this season. Now, they could be fooling us all by they couldn't give a shit about this year. They might be doing upgrades for the car. But I think it was in Hungary or in Italy, I can't remember. One of the commentators at Sky said Red Bull, I think it was actually Lewis Hamilton actually who said it, that Red Bull have bought an upgrade to every Grand Prix, unlike Mercedes. So, now, they mightn't give a toss vote this season, but they could still be doing upgrades. But I think Mercedes are they're gonna click in kind of, I know it's Russia this weekend, that's usually been a good track for Merc. I know Bottas loves this track as well.
Could be wet,
could be wet, and I think the Red Bulls are better in the wet. So look, I think it's going to be Hamilton that wins. I think he'll get his 8th. As much as I don't want him to, because as much as I'm vocal, like, I cannot take away him being one of the best drivers in F1 ever. I cannot take that away from him. House cannot take away from him being a driver. I just don't like his personality. I think he's a bit of a fairy cake, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I think he will win. I think Mark will kind of switch on a little bit coming out these last few races. I think the pressure might get the Red Bull and Max a little bit. Like, Max seems very cool, calm, collected, but I think after that Italy race, it's kind of shaking it up a bit for Max, especially.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting then.
Interesting on that one. And
have you ever been to a Grand Prix before, Conor? Or would you? And if you haven't, would you love to actually go to one? Or is there any particular track that you'd love to actually be at? And that you've never been to?
I'd love to go to Spa. I think it's fantastic.
Would you? Okay.
Love to go to Spa, and I'd love to go to Silverstone as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, being close to me, and obviously my family, we have a caravan, so it'd be very accessible as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, getting a ferry over and stuff like that. But I'd love to go to Silverstone or Belgium, and I'd love to go to Baku as well, because obviously I love that track as well. So I'd probably love to go to Baku, but obviously a bit out of my probably price range for now. But yeah, never been to a Grand Prix. I've been to World Rally events in the UK and stuff like that. So I've been all over the country for international rally events as well. So it's my fair share of motorsport events, but never a Grand Prix, unfortunately. So hopefully that'll be ticked off the bucket list soon enough.
Okay, excellent.
That's true. And if we do have one in the future, say next year, would you be interested of going and setting
an LOI Grand Prix trip? That would be we'd be telling stories to the grave with that. So we'd probably be unconscious for half of that weekend. I'd say we all would be. So I wouldn't surprise me if you all got thrown out. So yeah, 100% definitely an LOI trip for a Grand Prix, somewhere like Belgium or Silverstone or something like that. Would be some crack. Definitely something we should think about doing.
That's true. There'll be a lot of events for LOI in 2022.
Yeah. But you were saying there probably what got me into F1, was it?
Yeah, what got you into F1?
Obviously, as I said before, I'm not going to feed the game, but obviously being big into motorsport my whole life. I used to watch Top Gear all the time, and I think everyone knows what Top Gear is. I used to come home from school every day, watch it without fail, and loved it. And the episode, Richard Hammond went in Fernando Alonso, I can't remember if it was 2004, 2005 Renault. Went around the Stowe circuit in Silverstone. I saw that and I was like, wow, that's class. Like, that's cool. Like, I knew what F1 was, obviously, but never had watched it or bothered to watch it. And I can't remember what year I was. I think I was 11 or 12. And I remember, I think ITV or BBC or something still had rights to the channels. So I used to turn on the F1 whenever I'd see it, on Sunday. And I'd usually have rugby in the morning. I'd come home then, turn on the Grand Prix for a while, but I lost love big. I just did not watch it for years and years and years till about 2017, 2018 again. I was big hooked into rallying for all those years, and I had other interests as well, so just kind of lost love for it, but really got back into it then at that time. And that's really it, because I love the race and the cars were class and stuff like that. So obviously, kind of from, I suppose, motorsport background as well, I kind of automatically drawn to it as well. So that was really it.
That's interesting now. Good insight. Yeah, with the rallying. And tell us about Connell. Like, what do you like? I know you said you're unemployed, but what's your hobbies and what do you like doing? And
obviously the lads know on TikTok I love a bit of golf, so getting big into the golf, and I've kind of go a bit personal for a minute, but for the past kind of about 2.5 years, I've been kind of on a journey to lose weight, and I've had ups but a lot of downs. There was one point I was around 18 stone, and I'm not going to say now what I am, which is so embarrassing, but I'm a lot heavier than that now, and I've been in the gym for probably about last 2.5 years, and I've fallen back in love with rugby again, and I'm not playing this year now because it's just it's a bit expensive to join now this year, so I'm not really for that, but it's a bit out of the way as well, as lists and stuff like that, but I got back into rugby and it was a great time, and I think from summer 2018 was a big change in my life. I kind of turned around from being boring, and I wanted to get more out there, more confident, whatever, but obviously I love rugby, I love motorsport, like I've gotten back into football, soccer, whatever you call it. Got back into that as well. Big into the Premier League now. I'm watching Champions League, stuff like that, and I've been a Liverpool fan my whole life, but never bothered watching any of the matches for years and years and years. But back into it now, and I'd love to go to matches over in the UK and stuff like that. And yeah, so that's really it. Like, and obviously I'm unemployed at the moment, so mostly what I do is either go to the gym or go play golf. So that's really it. And hopefully trying to get back into rugby next year. And obviously the PlayStation is probably my main hobby, so that's all I do is sit here in my room all day. But that's really it. Like, kind of a bit boring, like, but like I'm big into IT, very interested in IT, and like I don't know a whole lot about Discord now, but like I love software and hardware and stuff like that. So I did college for a year in that, so big into something like that, and that's something obviously I'd like to do for the rest of my life. Something along the lines of that, and kind of see where that takes me. But I'm kind of at a stage in my life now where I'm not sure what I really want to do. You know, if I want to go work full time or go do a course or something like that. But there's no rush. Obviously, we're all in here. We're all still very young, so plenty of opportunities. You know, so not really stuck yet. Like, so kind of looking forward for the future. You know, because the future is a lot brighter than what it certainly was.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good now. And obviously you said you're big into your golf and everything. I suppose you're going to be watching the Ryder Cup this weekend, really, not?
Oh yeah, 100%. Obviously the singles are on the Sunday, and I obviously have commentary, so I might have to throw it on five or two to someone here really do that commentary there for me.
I won't be doing it, that's just to say.
Yeah, I'll be downstairs watching it, so I might have to cancel the race maybe, but no, I'll have to hopefully get someone to do that for me on the Sunday, but that doesn't watch golf. So, but yeah, definitely be watching the Ryder Cup tomorrow as well, and be playing golf at the weekend as well. So it's great now. So look forward to obviously the Grand Prix on this weekend. So it's a good weekend for sport, definitely.
Absolutely. And do you actually play much golf yourself? As I know you're saying you love the golf, but do you play many competitions or what? Well, how many times a week would you play, do you think? Or?
The last 2 weeks I haven't played a whole lot, just been really stuck with lifts, and obviously the weather down here is cat. Yeah. So in the sunny west of Ireland, so no, I usually in the summer I try to get out twice a week, if I not 3 times a week. Like I've gone out 4 or 5 days in a week, like full 18 holes, before courses are shut down for a bit of the summertime there. So I play as much as I can, but I'm always at the driving range or doing something with golf or watching it, so I play a good bit. Like it's definitely a full-on hobby of mine now, and I played as a junior as well. So, but yeah, I play a good bit of golf now. Like, so I've during the winter now, I'll try to get out at least once a week if I can. Obviously, weather permitting, and obviously the winter golf is terrible. Like, so yeah. Especially living in Clare, like the weather's shite down here in the winter, shite everywhere in the country, but especially down this part of the country. Myself and yourself live Colin, the weather isn't great today, all courses.
Yeah,
so
it isn't, so.
But yeah, like I'll be hopefully if I can twice a week during the winter, it'll be perfect. But once a week, 100%, I will want to get out once a week. Yeah, I play golf a good bit now, and obviously the lads see my few TikToks lately. I've been on a bit of a trend of uploading TikToks, but yeah, so it's not too bad now. So it's good. I'm enjoying it, like, and I'm hopefully going to be getting back into sports like rugby. And a few of the lads are asking me will I come play Gaelic again, and I said yeah, I might do. Like, so could be new challenges ahead. But yeah, looking forward to it now.
Excellent stuff. Excellent.
That's good, interesting stuff there, Connell, and that's good. And any tips for any other drivers coming up, the young lads coming up, and people who are obviously the elder, well, I can't say elderly, but the older, the older drivers as well who are listening and who are gonna listen, and your bit of advice. What's your advice?
My advice is to keep the head. Don't, let things get in you. If something goes wrong in a race, it's not the end of the world. Plenty more laps, plenty more races, plenty more fun. Definitely turn off the assists. It's the only thing I will ever say to anyone. Turn off the assists. It's the best thing you will ever do. And ultimately just to enjoy yourself. we'll always have the crack and taking the piss out of each other in the Discord, and there'll be words exchanged. But at the end of the day, it's all love, and we're all friends, and we're all Irish, so we all look out for each other. I know over history, we've always looked out for each other. So just to basically enjoy yourself, and and get involved as much as you can, because I regret all over, like, from my past, not getting involved in things. And one thing I vouch now from now on is to always get involved and always put my best foot forward. So that's my advice I give to people, bit life, but in general, but in F1 too, just to keep the head, plenty of patience, and turn off the assists for F1 anyway, and just to enjoy yourself pretty much. Yeah,
Cheers, Colin, on that. That was good advice. But anything more to add, lads? Colin?
Nope, I have nothing anyway.
Well, I'm out questions for you, Colin, anyway. It's a pleasure having you on this. We'll probably have you again in the future. Down the road.
100%.
Or we could have you hosting one, or as
Yeah,
yourself,
I'll have to interview you know soon enough, I think, if it's not been done already. So when you're back, when you're maybe out of retirement, so hopefully there's been talks, I heard, maybe little talks.
Yeah, planning we'll do one in mid-October. We do one on myself, and
there's always rumours as well. So, but yeah, definitely we'll do this again, and definitely we'll host one as well. So I'm always interested in finding out more about people. I'm a bit nosy, like, so.
The brown envelopes are behind the scenes. Something.
Oh yeah.
The brown envelopes
100%.
are going to come out now very shortly.
Yeah, and there's a few emails getting in there as well. So yeah.
A few sneaky emails from Michael Massey, like, you know the story.
Yeah, it's so we leave it there now, lads. How we move on? No, but yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Everybody's itching get to know the news about myself. But I'm actually loving this, loving the drama and all. I am loving it. But yeah, we'll all have a talk about the league and what's going to happen and what the events is going to be coming up in 2022 for LOI, because everything's going to be back to normal. And yeah, well, don't want to spoil this, but yeah, well, I forgot what I was about to say. No, that was it, and we were torn. Let's see, who knows. But we'll continue, Colin, and it's great having you here, Colin and Colin. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, pleasure, absolute pleasure to do it. Good crack, all the same. So
yeah, that's good. And we know I was concentrating on the practice race, putting the groin in Russia there in the background.
I just saw the Discord edit to make a new lobby. I think Hurston's went and messed up. Well on, Jack. Well on, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
Well on, Jack. Yeah, come on.
But,
and Ryan Dav asked me what my handicap is in golf. I play off 26, Ryan Dav. So I can hit the ball very nice. I just can't pump me life. That's what it is.
There you go.
I'll have to get Fanjo to give me an lesson on putting.
I'll say Blue Gunners are happy with the he's off to Paddy Power in the morning, I suppose. Blue Gunners.
Yeah, there'll be a few specials and all coming on on them, but yeah, it's good. Cheers, Blue Gunner, for tuning in, and Ryan Daff and lads, Johnny. So, and Big Funny Guy also, and there's a good few tuned in.
And Kachiga
as well.
While he's in work.
There's a good few, and there's more that tuned in. We will have more. We'll most likely have someone next week for us. Keep you updated. But thank you, lads, and that's it. All I have to say. So yeah, make sure to tune in to this weekend and next week for Russia, round 7 of 12 in season 6. Second half of the season begins, but make sure to tune in this Sunday at 9 PM where Connell and is it Calf? Is it?
It's Real Johnny.
Real Johnny.
Sunday.
Sorry, yeah, it's Calf, and then it's Calf and LOI Colin, and then we know then. Yeah, but yeah. Any more questions or anything, or your people are only new to be interested to come on the podcast, please hit us up with a message and we'll be more than happy to have you joined in. So thanks, and
100%.
Leave it there, lads. Sound.
Bye bye.